I'm Jay Urish. Join me as I complete flight school and enter the fun and adventure-filled world of general aviation.
Well, good evening, YouTube. Wolf Pilot sitting here in my mostly disorganized office. A little bit has transpired since the last recording. The intro to this video wasn't enough to give you a big clue. I'm done. I'm through. I've graduated from Monarch Air. I Thursday evening met with Chris Webb once again, and I was on my, let's call it my B game. Not quite my A game. I was on my B game. We were flying in November 9161 Tango. I have flown this plane before. In fact, you have seen it in my videos. If you go back maybe 8-9 videos ago, you're looking for my cross-country solo to Atlanta, Texas, and I flew 9161 Tango, so I was familiar with that plane and the way it handled. It has kind of a spooky rudder. It's not quite, doesn't feel quite balanced right, and the trim wheel definitely doesn't match the marker, and you don't set it to the takeoff mark, otherwise the plane launches into outer space. And when I was flying Thursday, just to kind of put it into historical and chronological perspective, Hurricane Laura was roaring ashore. I believe it was still a Cat 2 as it came up through Louisiana towards north or East Texas and Arkansas, Missouri. So there was a lot of cloud stuff going on. The wind was not a factor, surprisingly. The hurricane branched off to the east, and the METAR was great. In fact, there were several times prior to our arranged meetup time that I checked the METAR, and it was, Addison Airport was dead calm. I couldn't believe it. It was unreal. Compared to my last go around or adventure with this thing, it was just unbelievable. And we briefed the flight in the break room of Monarch. I say we, Chris Webb and I. And so, oddly enough, Jeff didn't normally give his DFU advice, and I'll think about that. But anyway, I had everything. I was flying with ForeFlight. I had everything planned, my alternative airports. I already had called 1-800-WX-BRIEF. And in fact, I was doing that while Chris was doing some paperwork and stuff, getting a standard briefing. And later on that evening, it was definitely going to be blow-tastic up in Oklahoma around the McAllister area. But when doing your check ride, you plan the trip, the cross-country trip. The purpose behind that is to prove to your DPE you know how to do it. Well, ForeFlight takes all the guesswork out of that. Had everything. I was totally briefed. I had wind direction, conditions, prognostic charts, national weather, local weather. I had everything right at my fingertips. I didn't have to go scouring across the internet looking for all the stuff. So anyway, got all that done, did our mutual give him a lot of money thing and check all my credentials and logbook and IACRA, and I went out and pre-flighted the airplane. I'm in an excellent mood. It's hot. Once again, I'm sweating. I really torrentially sweating because it's really humid outside, 97.6 degrees, something like that. A lot of moisture blown in from the storm. and got the plane pre-flighted, got out, got my taxi clearance, got it spun up, got my taxi clearance, taxied out, took off, did an absolutely wonderful soft field takeoff. Got up, we were taking off to the north. Haven't done that in a while. Actually, haven't done that since my cross-country solo. Go back and look at that video. Took off, flew the appropriate distance, had my frequencies already in the radio this time. Popped over to McKinney ATIS, got the weather. That's ATIS. Got the weather. Popped over once I was outside of the Addison Delta, or excuse me, Addison Bravo. Flipped over, contacted McKinney Tower. He was, I recognized the voice. I couldn't put a name with it. I could probably actually go out and find the recording, and you could hear my awesome mellow call out to the tower to get clearance to transition his Delta airspace. And so I did that, did it properly. He graciously granted me permission to transition at 2500, and did that. We proceeded to go out northeast. We told him, I said, yep, let's fly. We'll get 14 miles away from the airport. We'll get out there. And it was really actually, backing up, it was really actually calm at Addison. It was dead quiet. I think a lot of people were scared by the storm, except your wolf pup. Might be too stupid to be scared. And I really honestly wasn't having any form of get there-itis, but I was ready. I felt, my hands were warm. I felt that big bear hug of security, and so got there, got transitioned through the Delta airspace correctly this time, and went out there and proceeded to do our maneuvers. Slow flight, power off stall, slow turns, high 45-degree banks, power on stalls, engine out, engine fire. God, I'm probably missing several. It's a blur now, but I did okay-ish. My right-hand turn 45-degree high bank was pretty much spot on. I mean, the altitude ribbon did not even move. Airspeed was dead tick. Rolled out just right, went into the left. Starts going down. I think I had the death grip on the yoke, as we discussed during our debrief. I caught I was going down, and I said, "Oh, I'm losing altitude here. I'm cleaning it up. And that started a kind of a pogo effect. I did not deviate outside the norm or the standards, so I got there. See this? This is skin on my teeth. That's how close I was. Got it done. We got done with maneuvers, went back to McKinney. First landing was going to be a soft field landing, which normally I was pre-briefed by Jeff that we do just a typical normal landing, taxi back, kind of get warmed up, check the wind. Not this time. No, soft field landing. I did a beautiful soft field landing. I mean, just squeaked it in, dead-eye dick center line, held the nose, and Chris said, "Okay, you're good." Boom. Flaps up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Took back off. Stayed in the pattern, came back around. We did a short field landing. I'm a little bit nervous. I got extended a few miles just for had a jet coming in or something, and so when I came in, we were actually once again landing to the north because then prevailing wind was coming out of the north, and came around, did my gumps, and came in, set up the landing, glide slope. Who needs a glide slope? Those lights are just to cheer you on, you know? And so I come in and Chris goes, where's your aiming spot? And I said, right there, 1,000-foot markers. Sure it's not the trees? I said, we're good. And I just had come in low and came down, and normally you have a glide slope before you hit transition, round out. Well, I already had lost my requisite amount of altitude because there really wasn't any high obstructions in my imaginary scenario, and the trees are only 70 feet tall. So it came in a little bit lower than normal for reds, but still, I was good. And I kind of did my final descent maybe 100 feet from the threshold of the runway, and came in and pulled the power and aimed for the 1,000-foot marker, and it's come down. It looked like it was going to be a smasher, so I kind of did a little small tug on the yoke, and it turned out we did, I'd say a bigger small, kind of a little balloon. So as I popped back up, I gave back just enough, and it came down, and I held it, and sweeped it, and dropped the nose, pulled the flaps, and laid on the brakes. And I might have skidded 20-30 feet before I started modulating the brakes a little bit and did my own form of manual ABS. And that one was a stop and go. So a stop came to full stop, made sure the flaps were there, blah, blah, blah. So then we're doing a short field takeoff. So I immediately transitioned to flaps 10, hit the brakes, full throttle, let the thing come up, made sure the prop was still attached, let off the brakes, took off. Excellent deal. Excellent deal. He said, all right, let's go to Addison. Okay. Well, he didn't tell me I failed. Kind of a little bit, a little nervous there. Not rattled. Whether I failed or whether I didn't. The worst case scenario is I have to come back, just like Thursday. There's my second go around. No big deal. Took off. Climbed up. We were going to make left-hand traffic. Got clearance of tower to do that. Politely asked the tower if he would be so kind as to provide me with a transponder code so I may enter the Bravo on my way back home. And he said, excellent, your whatever my transponder code was. Got it punched into the G1000 and returned his call. I said, hey, thank you very much. I do appreciate your patronage, your support, and help on my check ride. You have a great rest of your day and weekend. We'll see you later. And he says, all right, blah, blah, blah. And you're clear to transition over to approach 124.3. All right, 9161 Tango over to 124.3. Good day. Love that good day. You're now in your pilot. You got to throw in a good day or whatever. And don't forget, now that I have my pilot's license, pilot certificate, I think I'm authorized to do a. I guess maybe that only works on PAs. Small aircraft don't have PAs. I guess I have to buy a big aircraft. Whatever. Anyway, so transition. I was doing my climb. About 2,000, I called approach, and hey, good evening, DFW approach, Skyhawk 9161 Tango, with you at 2,000, climbing 2,500. On the way, full stop to Addison, and if I remember correctly, I did not have the Addison ATIS quite yet. We were still a little bit too low to receive it. Oddly enough, approach didn't say a thing, except maintain, I don't know if it was at or above 2,500 or just maintain 2,500, fly 270, I think, which is kind of jived with the G1000 GPS. Punch through, got within 4 miles of the airport, and I'm sitting here. I wonder if the tower forgot about me. I'm here at 2,500. I see the runway right over there. And he hasn't turned me, hasn't cleared me to descend. And I looked over to Chris, I said, I wonder if the guy forgot me. And just about this time, Addison Tower gets on, 9161 Tango, clear descend, pilot, to descend at pilot's discretion. I said, all right, made my turn, started descending, and came around. I mean, did a perfect landing. Northern landing on the runway, got off on Echo, got over to the taxied on via Alpha. Interesting enough, I know my brain was kind of soupy a little bit, got a little bit of disorientation rolling north on Alpha, and I thought for a second I'd blown by Uniform where I need to make a right to get back to Monarch. and he goes, well, you want to get Lost Airport, what you can do? And I said, oh yeah, you tell the tower you kindly and politely request progressive taxi. And about this time, and he says, oh, what else do you got to go to the G1000? And I said, well, I'm taxiing and hadn't farted with MFD to pull up the airport plate on that, and I didn't actually have my iPad mini on my leg. I was kind of going seat on my pants a little bit, or looking at the MFD for my airspace and all that other stuff. And about this time, I see the big yellow signs down there for Uniform, and breathe, Wolf Pilot. Anyway, pull off on Uniform, and Chris points out, and I did kind of screw up a little bit. We had a good crosswind, although I couldn't really feel it in the aircraft. Airplane wasn't indicating any wind because we were on the ground, and that's normally supposed to turn your ailerons into the wind. I kind of did that after he pointed out that it would be a good idea. So, yeah, I agree. But again, I hadn't felt, the airplane wasn't rocking or anything. I think the winds were only about 8 knots, 7 knots. Toss the plane or not, around or not. Anyway, got back to Monarch, parked the plane. Chris helped me get it lined up in the slot. Got it lassoed down. Did a post-flight, made sure everything was all dress right, windows closed, control locked, switches off, valve on left. Put away the tow bar. Yeah, made sure it was all buttoned up, and I'm sitting there. I'm really bummed out. The ride was kind of short, and I don't know. I think he cut it a little bit short because he was futzing with the G1000, and I think he was looking at the weather. And by the way, when I came in for my final landing back home, we were getting precipitation. It was raining on the airplane. I had water coming up the windscreen. So I think he was probably in the back of his mind, let's get home. I don't know if the DPE can discontinue by weather, and I know I wanted to be done with this deal and get signed off. But anyway, I was at point land. I thought he made a couple comments. Man, I'm cooked. I've done it again. I screwed the pooch again. I want to come back again and be one of those depressing deals, because if you screw up on one thing, say you screw up your short field landing and you get busted on that, again, it's not the end of the world. You just have to meet your DPE, pay you more money, get in the airplane, go up, come back, do a short field, taxi back to the hangar, and you're done. Anyway, so I'm walking back, got the plane done, got my bag and everything, and I'm walking. He's kind of ahead of me, walking towards the black gates on the. So would that be this? That'd be the east side of Monarch. And he stops, and he offers his hand. And I'm looking at him, and I'm kind of a little bit befuddled. Why is he offering me his hand? I mean, I'm about to go in here and get discontinued. I mean, or disapproved again. What the hell? Because I thought my maneuvers were completely blow-tastic. I said, what? Do you need a loan or something? I just kind of confused. And so Chris goes, congratulations. What? I brought us back to the airport and we're alive, and you didn't have to take over the airplane? He just started laughing. He goes, no, you're a pilot. You could have pushed me over with a feather. You really could have. So I think my exact retort was, I kind of collected myself and started breathing again. you're effing kidding me, right? I said, I don't think mine did that well. And I said, I go up here and do these things with Jeff, and I just, anyway, okay, I guess I'm a pilot. So we go back in there, and he got paperwork to do and sign my certificate, give him my student pilot certificate, and a whole bunch, and I guess that makes it invalid, and gave me my temporary deal and filled me in and debriefed me what he liked and what he didn't like, and man, he was ranting and raving about my short field landing. That he said and the soft field landing. He said short field, that was the most beautiful short field he'd ever had in any of his examinees. So it was definitely a way to inflate my my confidence by at least 50 psi. It was good stuff. So see by the pictures, I wanted a YouTube moment. It was going to be great. It really was, and I wanted to have the music playing and come strolling in my matching Monarch color cap and gown, have my name called out loud, just kind of like a high school or college graduation, because I've had neither of those. Just inside information. Yes, I did graduate Hillcrest High School in the winter of 1995. My diploma's up on my wall. So, but I've never stepped foot in college. A different story. I left Hillcrest, adios, middle finger to administration. I hated DISD, still do. And I joined the Army. Another stupid decision. But anyway, so I never had pomp and circumstance, never had the march, I never had any of that stuff. I wanted to make it really cool, so it didn't happen. I didn't get my YouTube moment. But now I'm a private pilot. So what do we do from here? What do we do from here? Well, for starters, your private pilot's certificate is, yeah, I can go just jump by an airplane, go fly it now, and I'm going to do that. I don't know what plane I want to buy. Michael Perkins, if you're watching this, I know you keep putting peer pressure on me to buy an RV. So I love the way I went flying with the McKinney aviation program. I forget what the name of their blue and white airplane is, all the names written on it. It flew like a jet. It was great. It'd probably be low total operating cost. Probably low cost to insure as an experimental, an N-numbered experimental. But I don't really care for the bubble canopy. I'd rather have a slider like a Grumman. Like the idea of being able to fly with the canopy open. And the bubble things just cook your brains. I've flown the 172. Michael Perkins says, don't want to fly. Don't buy your trainer. What if I like my damn trainer? It has a G1000 in it. It's awesome. I wish it had a higher performance engine and a 3-bladed constant speed prop. Well, of course, then it'd be a 182 now, wouldn't it? I'm going to fly one of those soon. I'll be flying a VTEL Bonanza. I want to fly Brian Turner's Grumman Tiger. I would love to fly Christy Wong's Wong Warrior. Get some airtime, see what the plane feels like, how my shoulders fit. I'm 6'2". I'm a tall, lanky guy. You don't just go out, oh man, it's a beautiful airplane, I'm gonna buy it. What if the thing flies like crap? What if you can't trim it to save the life? What if it's got all kinds of the breed has problems? I guess the Grummans have issues with fuel tanks or something. Or what if it's just one of those things that doesn't have very much of a useful load, and you have a friend who's a fat ass? I mean, I want to find the right plane for me to meet my mission. I might even get a chance. I'm hoping I can fly Dan Milliken's Lola. He's got a 210 Centurion. Although I'll already tell you right now, I'm prejudiced against a plane that's got a retractable gear. They are a maintenance nightmare. They're expensive at anything to do with retractable gears. I've got multiple people telling me to avoid that at all costs. That's why a lot of your schools don't do retractable gears. I've got some shopping to do. I'm going to be continuing my training. I'm already in talks with Paul Sargent. I want to train out at T31 Aero Country. He has a VTEL Bonanza and a Sundowner available, and if anything else, train with him. I could have access to the planes to rent them if I want to go do some trips, fly around, whatever, with friends. Maybe fly to Waco, fly to Houston, fly to, I don't know, whatever the hell. Paul is going to get me high performance complex endorsements, and there's another guy at T31 that has a couple tail draggers, and I'm going to also do my tail wheel endorsement and get that knocked out hopefully before Christmas, and that'll increase the variety of aircraft that I can pilot. Next year at some point we'll see what happens. I mean, this world is so crazy right now. I want to think ahead, but not too far ahead. I do think I'm going to start my instrument training next year. Hopefully by then I'll be 100 to 200 hours in the logbook, and if it takes me a year and a half to do instrument, it takes me a year and a half. Whatever. One kind of the cool thing is, as you're learning instrument, just because your pilot certificate doesn't say you're IFR rated, that doesn't mean you're a moron. It doesn't mean all of a sudden, poof, you're an IMC. You've been training for 2 years on instrument, you just never done checker ride. You know how to use your instruments. You're not going to be scared. You do what you need to do to get out of the IMC to be legal, or just, you know, whatever. If you want to fly through it, I guess you fly through it and confess later. Anyway, it'll next year for IFR to do my instrument training. At this point, I just want to go and fly. I want to put some time in the logbook. I want to go out and make cool videos for you guys, and I want to have a good time. So I was going to tell Jeff one of my last parting words at Monarch. You know, I guess there's just really one last thing to say. Clear, bro! We'll see you on the next one. Deuces.